Greetings. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be with you in person today, but I wanted to have a few moments to just speak with you and send my very best along to all of you. I am Deborah Friedl, the incoming president of the International Association of Women Police, and I am very honored and humbled to take on this amazing opportunity of leadership within our wonderful organization. As I shared with the board of directors a few days ago, I credit my involvement with the IAWP over these past 30-something years for having sustained my professional career. I looked forward to each and every conference and saw it as an opportunity to recharge my batteries, if you will. I came for the training, the friendship, the mentoring, the camaraderie, and the wonderful skills and knowledge that I obtained. And I would go back and feel rejuvenated because this conference and all that the IAWP offers celebrates what women bring to this profession. We are different in a wonderful way, and we bring amazing skills and abilities to this career. So that I would go back to my job and through the tough times, what I had learned along the way at the IAWP sustained me. And then I would return to the next conference and again recharge those batteries, feel excited, rejuvenated, and return, and so forth all throughout my career. So I look forward to serving as your leader for the coming 3 years and play a role in furthering our organization and giving newer police officers in the field the opportunity to sustain themselves, to learn, to get all the positive benefits of the IAWP just like I did. So as I take on this leadership role, it's very exciting in many ways. We have unique opportunities. We've seen over the last 10 years amazing growth on the international area of the IAWP. We've seen increases in membership, increased affiliate organizations developing and joining the IAWP. We see advances in women in law enforcement in many of these countries. We've brought our board meetings to countries outside of North America, and we've had annual training conferences take place in more countries outside of North America. As this momentum continues, and I do believe in large part this momentum is at least part attributable to the efforts of the IAWP, and it's wonderful for women in these regions outside of North America to continue to advance. And we will, I promise to you, continue that momentum and continue that positive energy. And as I understand, there's other opportunities being developed at this time to take us to even more locations outside of North America. But all the while, in those same 10 years, while we've seen this phenomenal excitement and growth outside of North America, what we're seeing, particularly in the United States, is almost just the opposite. As you've seen, either personally witnessing or on the news, you see that the climate, there's been a sort of an anti-police climate that's been building in some locations around the U.S., and there's been an increase in assaults and violence upon police officers. What we're seeing then is also less candidates seeking out careers in law enforcement. But I think that what's most concerning and what seems to be getting very little attention is, where are the women? We're seeing declining numbers of women entering law enforcement. We're seeing some of our U.S. membership base dwindling. And the way I look at that is this is a crisis that's building. It may not feel like a crisis right at this very moment, but it becomes a crisis maybe 20 years down the road, because as women enter law enforcement and they continue to rise up and develop their career, if they're not coming in the door now, they're not going to be here to take up positions of leadership within their organizations 20 years down the road. So what doesn't seem like a crisis now will become one later on. So we need to focus our attention. We need to understand why are people why are we seeing less numbers? Is it what's the cause for that? How do we overcome that? I think that by and large, folks thought we didn't have to fight these battles any longer, and maybe we took our attention off of that, and clearly we can see that that was not the case. So I would like to see the IAWP be a leading voice on this, maybe to stimulate the conversation if necessary. Why are people not having more dialogue about this very important issue? So I want to see IAWP have a seat at the table, be subject matter experts on this particular discussion point, and I want to see us lead the conversation. The IAWP is the in many it's where excuse me, the United States is where the IAWP was founded, and in many ways where women in policing took off, was founded as well. IAWP is like the roots of the tree, as I described it to the board of directors, and a tree with healthy roots does not fear strong storms. Right? A tree with strong roots, those roots have to be strong and sturdy, and they need to be nurtured, and the tree can then support the growth and the fruit of the tree. So we need to make sure that those roots, the roots in the United States for the IAWP, are strong and nourished, or the whole tree can wither and die. And so we need to focus some attention back there. And so my challenge as the incoming president is, how do I make sure that we maintain the international focus while at the same time shifting focus back to the U.S. I've been on the board long enough to see it sort of becomes like a pendulum. It's an unintended consequence. As we focus one way, we lose sight of the other. And as we shift to the international side, we lose focus of the U.S. side. So how do I do my best to make sure the pendulum stays stable in the middle, representing both sides equally? So I've thought long and hard about this as I come on board, and I feel that that the balance for me is in who I select as my executive director. So the incoming president, following an election, has the opportunity to select an executive director. It's a non-voting position on the board, to serve as an assistant to the president, a trusted advisor, as was described to me, an extension of my right arm, to fulfill the mission or the focus or the agenda that I'm trying to move forward. And again, my agenda is your agenda. It's a shared agenda. It's not something that I will establish without input from the membership and from the board. But how do we move that focus forward? And so in this case, trying to balance that pendulum in the center, I have selected Jane Townsley to be my executive director. I think that there is no member right now of the board of directors that is as in tune with the pulse on the international side of the organization. I think most of you in the room personally know who Jane Townsley is, because she's taken the time to want to get to know you. Jane is a staunch advocate for all of your concerns. She raises those throughout her efforts on the board of directors. She's now a member of the board of trustees. Jane is willing to step down, to suspend her role on the board of trustees to serve as my executive director. I think that Jane is a can-do person. She gets things done. She's a worker. She's committed to me to assist me in anything that I need. She has continued to maintain her contacts and her efforts around the globe, even after she stepped out of the role of president of the organization. And I think that right now, at this moment in time, Jane is the right person to step in immediately and assist me as I focus some discussion and dialogue on the U.S. side. So what I have done is submit Jane's name for consideration to the board. She has to be approved by the board in order to assume the role of executive director. So I expect that in the coming weeks, we're going to hold a vote of the board, and I expect at that time that Jane will be accepted or ratified by the board. I've also had to, the president also has to fill vacant positions on the board of directors, and I've submitted a number of names to the board for their ratification as well. And I thank all of those candidates that have stepped up. Some right here at this conference this week, you've stepped up into leadership positions, and I'm eternally grateful, as we all are, to you for doing that. We do still, however, have some vacant positions on the board of directors. And if any of you are out there and wonder what it means to be a member of the board of directors, and I promise you it will help you advance your career, if you step up and join the board, you will learn some skills that will serve you well. So right now, it looks like I have Region 3, Region 5, Region 8, Region 12, and Region 19 still available, looking for regional coordinators to step up and fill those roles. We also have committees, so if you're interested in serving in any capacity, or at least finding out what that means to serve, please reach out to me, president@iawp.org. All of our contact information is listed on the website, again, iawp.org. So I would like to close with two comments. Number one, thank you, Calgary, for a wonderful time. I can see I've been following along, and I've heard the comments from all of the folks in attendance, or many of them. What a wonderful training conference and overall that you've put together. The training courses look amazing, and the social opportunities sound like a lot of fun, and I'm sorry that I missed them. So thank you, Calgary, and onward to Alaska. Very exciting, and especially exciting that my first conference as the president will be in the United States. So kudos to Alaska, and I want it noted that I think this is the only location that has hosted a conference for the IAWP 3 times. So again, amazing that you've stepped up. We look forward to next year. Safe travels to everyone. Please reach out to me if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, ideas, anything at all, areas of concern, or especially from the US, how do we advance this discussion? So again, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person, but know that my thoughts are with each and every one of you, and I'm following along, and I look forward to working with you in the next 3 years. So thank you all.